Okay, I got a feeling, and I've got only 10 minutes. Holy moly. Somebody recently put up a post about alcoholism. Basically, something like, well, I'll put the picture as the beginning of this video. So, here's what I know. So, I can see things. This is obvious why I do this now, is that in my mind's eye, I can see things. And this is why I am the way I am. You know, I've been sensing spirit for a very long time. So I have been an alcoholic, or I was an alcoholic forever. Now, I'm going to quickly package this up. I don't want anybody to sit there and go down the road of she's not admitting she's an alcoholic. You have to admit it, blah, 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 blah. That's all AA stuff, right? I've been through AA. What I've learned is you speak your truth. So if you constantly say, I'm an alcoholic, I'm an alcoholic, I'm an alcoholic, you are an alcoholic, okay? People need to get through that, of course. There is a point in time where you need to sit there and say, I am an alcoholic, because you need to admit that to yourself. But then you should not hold on to that, you know? This is only when you're in a healthy place. I'm not talking about people who are actively, this is not that at all. I call myself, I was an alcoholic because once I went through my awakening, I mean, I think that an awakening is a never-ending process, but I say the big grunt of it, you know, the majority of it, where I got to the place where I'm comfortable, being able to channel spirit and speak with whatever I do. Once I got to that point, my addictions have been released. That's why I've been able to lose 105 pounds. That's why I don't drink anymore. That's why I don't have the need to take prescription medications. I used to have lots of pain issues. So my point of this is, I want to speak about alcoholism and what it does to the soul. And why, and you could believe me or not. I mean, you know, this is how you figure out if something's right or wrong. You listen to somebody, and if it gives you chills, or if you feel in your heart like, damn, that sounds right, then it's a truth. It's your truth. It doesn't have to be, my truth does not have to be your truth. My truth, it could be different from your truth, okay? This is what it's all about. We have to discern our own truths. But what I've seen, so I moved out to the country out here, and I grew up in the city, and in the city there's lots of people around everywhere. So you don't get a chance to what's the word I'm looking for? Like pull away, you know, detox yourself from energies and everybody. Living out here in the country, I could be more by myself, and I could then, when I went to a bar, I happened to be looking, and I'm like seeing these dark things above the bar, like wisps. I started researching it more and more, seeing if anybody else saw something like that. I started reading one guy who was very much a seer, like, I see things in my mind's eye. I see better with my eyes closed than I see with my eyes open. I'm getting to the point though where I can kind of, like if I'm somewhere, I could just kind of look up or over, and then I could kind of like see another layer of existence. Okay, so that being said, this guy can do that. And he wrote an article about how he went to a bar when his eyes opened, his eyes awakened, and he started seeing, as people were drinking, their soul, spirit, whatever you want to call it, their essence, their energetic essence, let's call it that, almost evacuated and was being held on like a thread, like a balloon with a thread, you know? Because in order to hold on to your beautiful soul, you need to have a pretty nice vessel for it to be in. If you have dirtied it and filled it up so bad, like you can't even function. I mean, think about, like, have you ever been, or have you ever known people to be so drunk that they piss themselves or they shit themselves or they're puking all over the place? Imagine your beautiful divine soul. It doesn't want to be in that trash can, right? So that's what I'm saying about, like, when your beautiful soul is like being, it's hanging by a thread. It's like, I don't want to be in this ugly body right now. So I'm going to wait until she is finished doing their stupidity. That being said, this man saw that there were these shadows above the buildings, above the bars. And he recognized that it was just, now I'm talking about energies. I'm not going to go into demons and all this other stuff. No, I'm just talking about energies. Low vibrational energies, okay? So if your soul, so when your soul is hanging by a thread like that, it gives a nice empty vessel for something else to come popping in. So why do you think people do stupid stuff sometimes when they black out? Now, if you research even further, shamans or medicine men or whatever, way back when, created alcohol or like fire water, because what it would do is it would open you so that something could come in. So that's what they used to use, you know, but it was sort of like a, I don't know, I'm not even going to get into that. So what was my whole point of this video? So if you are an alcoholic, I want you to really think about what you're doing to your vessel. And maybe try to, there's something very real about getting hijacked when you're drunk, or when you're blackout drunk, because your beautiful divine soul wants a better vessel. And if you've got a garbage can as a vessel because you're all drunk or high or whatever the hell you're doing at that moment, you're giving yourself an open opportunity to get hijacked, or let's use the word hijacked. And I won't even say, and don't think of it like possession, because as soon as you are out of being that drunk state, then of course your soul's going to come back in and take over, because that is where it needs to be, right? But I just want you to think about that when you get yourself to the point where you're so sloppy. Do you really want to be out of control of yourself? It is your divine right to be in control of yourself, to be in your body, to be, you know, you have a piece of whatever you want to call it, God, source, goddess, you know, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but you have a piece of that inside you. That's what that soul is. That's what that, yeah. So that was the message I was getting, just to reiterate and explain where you come from, where I came from, and how, because I would black out drunk. And the thing is I had a strong enough divine soul that she always knew to stay in control. Yet, I would definitely use her force. She would almost come more to the surface and take charge of things, because Roseanne was out of control. And thankfully I had that, because if I didn't, I could have been in a whole world of trouble, you know. So I implore you to think about that the next time you feel the need to pick up a drink or to take a drug or something. And I'm not talking about smoking weed, you know, as a recreation, you know. I'm talking about when you are making this vessel unworthy, unable to hold a divine soul. So that's it. Please tell me what you think in the comments.